Hi everyone, it's Lisa again with a craft that you can easily make at home or with just a few purchase supplies. We're going to be making, or I'm going to show you how to make this cute string art candy corn. Now this is more of an ornament, but it does not have to be used as an ornament, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So I'm going to give you your list of supplies, and we're going to zoom in and see actually how to do our candy corn string art. Okay, we're back, and I think this is probably a better position for you to kind of see what we're doing here. The first thing that I have done, let's get a list of supplies first. You're going to need a hammer, a pair of scissors. You're going to need some kind of wood for this. Now you can purchase the wood plaques at the big box stores or at places like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and those would work perfectly fine. You do need to have some depth to it. You'll notice that this one is probably, I want to say, a ½ inch, but I do need that in order to put my nails in. So make sure that it's thick enough, but you do need a piece of wood. So it can be anything, any size, as long as it's a piece of wood with the depth that you need. You're also going to need these tacks or nails. These are 1/16 nails, 1 by 16 nails. And I chose the gold, although they come in copper, they come in a brass looking finish, a silver finish, etc. But I just went ahead and ordered these. Depending on the size of your project, will depend on how many that you need. You will also need, I'm using embroidery floss. You can use something that is specifically for string art, and it is I want to say it's a crocheter's thread. It is a little bit more expensive. I found that I had relatively no problems by just using the embroidery floss, and it was readily available. Also, it was in the small amount that I needed. I don't want a large spool of this, especially if I'm not going to be doing a lot of these. So I needed the yellow, the white, the orange, and then you'll also notice on the one that you see in front of you, I have also outlined it in black. And then the only other thing that we're going to need is a piece of twine for the top, which I have. And if you want to add a ribbon, then I've got a couple of ribbon choices for us to look at as well. Now I'm going to push our supplies to the side here so you can see what I've already done on this one. Let's look at the original ones. By the way, you'll need a pattern as well. I am not very good at string art. I found that out. I also found out that if I shadow it with black, it really doesn't matter that I'm not very good at string art, because it does tend to look better when I had outlined it with the black. So I'm pretty pleased with it in hindsight. So what I have simply done is I've taken one of the discs and I would cut out my pattern and decide where I want it. Now this pattern is not this size. It's pretty obvious that I needed a bigger one when I printed my image to show you today. But I would simply cut out around that. I would put my image on there, just hold it into place, and then the first thing that you're going to be doing is taking your nail and you're going to be pounding that in. You can start at any location that you want. This looks like a screaming mess right now, but I promise you I'll clean it up in just a few minutes for you. I found that it was easiest to start just at the very top. It held my pattern in place. Then I actually went to the bottom two corners, almost a triangle, and that held my pattern in place. The theory on hammering these in here, you just need to make sure that you've probably got anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch between them. That way you can actually manipulate the string through them, and it also gives you enough room to actually hold it with your finger when you're nailing that in there. I also tried to make sure they were all about the same height. I see 1 or 2 on this one that probably need to be nailed down. I also made sure that when I was actually nailing this that I had a padded surface behind it because I didn't want it to come through and hurt whatever table I was working on. Now, in my own way, I have already done a mishmash of yellow and orange, and I know it's nothing to be applauded at this point, but I'd like to show you how to get the white on and then how to do the outside border. So I'm using my embroidery floss. Embroidery floss is great. The only thing that's not great about it is made up of multiple strands, which means there is the likelihood that it will separate. As you can see right here, it's already starting to separate a little bit. So you just have to be careful and hold it together when you're stringing. The first thing I'm going to do here is just simply tie it on to an existing nail. But a much better job than that. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and make my little loop. And then I can tie it on. There we go. Now I'm going to leave that little string right now. It really doesn't bother me that much, but I am going to double knot it because I don't want it coming off, especially when I'm almost finished and see that it's popped off the end there. There is no method to this madness. Some people like a pattern. I don't know how to do a pattern, so I'm just doing a random back and forth, over and under kind of motion. You know, wherever it fits is my opinion on this. I have a knot to contend with, which I will contend with in just a few moments. And keep wrapping. Now I did come to the end because I had a knot, so I'm going to tie a loop in the end, find my nearest screw, and I'm just going to tie that on there a little bit. Now I do need a little bit more of the white, so let me deal with that problem that we just had. Embroidery floss comes in these nice little neat packets, and I've lost, well, let me show you. So it's already pre-bound for you, and you don't have that problem that I'm having right now. So if you can keep it in your little, the little bindings at the end, the paper bindings, please do. It's probably going to be easier for you in the long run. Now I'm going to tie on, because I really do need some more white. So I'm going to tie on here. Kids would love this. It's so easy to do. I'll go ahead and clip that one. Okay. I'm also going to push this down a little bit. I want to give room for the black trim at the top. I think that's enough of the white. I added just a few more little directions with the white, and I'm tying off. Now, still not too impressive, I understand. Let me go ahead and trim up some of our extra. Hopefully it's looking a little bit better now that I'm trimming it up. I think string art's very fun. Lets you use your imagination and your creativity. So there's what we've got. I'm going to take the black, and because I don't like the way that looks, and it kind of looks plain and unfinished, I am going to put a loop in the end. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to double knot that. and I don't want this coming loose. I'm going to go ahead and trim my little piece off the end. And here's all you're going to do. Now this is going to be in the opposite direction that you're viewing this. But I'm going in a zigzag motion. Back and forth, back and forth. And then all the way around. I know my hand is covering most of this project. I'm trying not to cover it. Okay. Now, whatever direction I started here, I want to do the opposite. So I'm going to go here, here, push that down just a little bit. This really does, I think, highlight it and makes it look more like the intended project. Now, I do want to make one more round through because I want to get in between the colors of the candy corn. And there we go. Now I am going to cut. And I'm going to tie a loop in the end and at the now, much better that now that it is outlined with the black. The last step of this would be to, now these are already pre-drilled with a hole in the top, as you can see. Sometimes I forget I have changed the angle of the camera and I'm not real good about keeping it where you can see it. I apologize for that. Let's cut off our extra. And if we want one of our bows, we can either put that at the top of your candy corn, or as you see on the demonstration piece or the one that I did, I simply just glued that to the twine itself, which would be right here. I've got this one. I also found this little black gingham that would be very cute at the top. Now, if I can do string art, you can do string art. It just takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, and your creativity. I hope you enjoyed our string art candy corn. I hope you'll try it. If you do choose to try this at home, or you pick up one of our kits, crafting kits, then please upload your image to our website. We would love to see those. And happy Halloween, it's coming soon. And keep crafting. Thank you.